back, everybody, to Rise and Grind. How was your weekend?
My weekend was phenomenal. How was yours?
It was great. The weather was beautiful this weekend.
Yeah,
really
oh my
enjoyed
gosh.
being outdoors.
Yeah, we had an amazing event at Elevate Leadership. Thank you, Jeff, for that amazing event last Wednesday. We absolutely crushed it. There was so much impact. The room was packed, you know, at 618. Shout out to 618 for holding and hosting an amazing event there. What a great time. Obviously, I was there speaking on personal branding and the importance of personal branding, which is actually my first topic today. And again, I'm motivated and inspired by that event, because like most of the things that you see when people are trying to go out there, elevate their career, or just get in front of a new opportunity, there are so many times that people don't take the time to think and realize that when you look at the NIL deals, right?
Yeah.
That's happening with college athletes, and if you don't know what that is, Google that, NIL deals. So in a nutshell, these NIL deals that these athletes and I would say like celebrities and maybe just like TikTok or influencer famous people. I wouldn't say celebrities, but like if you're a TikTok influencer or an athlete, mainly athletes in college or high school, you typically get what they call NIL deals, right? And so essentially, when you think about it from a personal brand perspective, when you have a great personal brand that's representing you properly in what you do, it's almost like creating your own opportunities for your own type of NIL deals when you think about it. And so often you see like people straight out of college and and they're like, okay, I'm trying to get a job in in a CPA firm or in an attorney at a law firm. And one of the things when you look at their social media, like nothing would ever show you that this person is a serious attorney, right? And give off those vibes. So, one of the things that I want to speak about today on the first topic here is going to be about building your personal brand and the importance of it and the opportunities that come from it. And ultimately, when you're out there in your career, and you're building, your career, and you're building up all the different types of expertise that you need in your tool belt to obviously dominate, these are things that are important that are posted on social media, right? So not just doing the food pics or you're on vacation or whatever, right? Like recruiters, they do look you up. They do go to your LinkedIn, of course. They do go to your social media channels that are maybe private or not private. And they're looking you up, right? So they want to see, if they're just seeing you do normal lifestyle things, that's cool, that's okay, but it's not setting you apart. And I want to give an example. There's a friend that I have that is great at personal branding, right? And so essentially what she does as a recruiter, she's out there on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and she's constantly posting things that are thought leadership worthy when it comes to recruiting. And has built up an actual pretty insane following on LinkedIn around this. And long story short, she got a position, she got a job because they saw her LinkedIn, they saw how like active she is in the recruiting community and growing and learning and a thought leader in it.
Wow, that's awesome.
And she got hired specifically because of her social media. And so again, her personal brand. So in the world, that employer saw what she's doing on her social and how she's branding herself. And ultimately, got the job because of it, right? So how many other candidates potentially had a better resume, went to better schools, maybe more experience, but they went with her, and she's very new in this space, I will add. She's only like 2 or 3 years in, so I'm sure there were people who had 5 or 10 years, because this is a pretty big firm that she wound up getting hired at. So like when you look at that personal brand that she built, that you can be building for yourself, it presents opportunities to you. And one thing I will give a shout out to one of my cousins over there, Joe, at Keep It Moving, by the way. If you need to move, he's the guy. But Joe always says something that I really love. He says, when you have to play to the character you want to be portrayed as, right? So he's an actor, a musician, he does all this cool stuff. So he always used that phrase, like being a character. So I love that he says that, but in his like way of saying that, it makes a lot of sense, because ultimately, whatever character you're going to play in this game of life or in this game of your career, how people see you before they ever meet you is what they're seeing on your LinkedIn, what they're seeing, obviously. Resume is a bunch of like letters, and it's a bunch of information of you just trying to brag and give a past experience. But the stuff that you actually have, that you're broadcasting on your social channels, that is going to help you if you do it the right way. So my recommendation is, again, based, if you own a business, right? Like I've been blessed that, there are a lot of people who say, well, I don't want to post all my content out there on my personal. I don't want people knowing what I'm up to, what I'm doing. I'm private, whatever else, right? Like Megan posts once every 2 years. Perfect example, right?
Not wrong.
Yeah. So it's like, but that's fine, right?
I'm a private person,
Everybody has their own thing. Where I've been very blessed is that I've always leveraged Adapting Social's page for my own branding and stuff. So like people typically will see that stuff. So for me in particular, if you don't own a business, you can't do that, right? So again, depending upon where you are, where your business is and things like that, it's important that you start to do that. Before I was doing that on Adapting Social, I was doing that on my personal page, and I was getting out there. I was ensuring that, I was putting up content, me at clients, doing things like that. So people saw me, my personal network saw me, and then they would be like, oh, John's in marketing, or John's building websites, or John's doing this. And it led me to get in front of more people. But ultimately, if you're in a career, you're trying to build your career, it's really important you start to do those types of things. Put out content that's thought leadership content in your industry. Put out content, that's about things that may be like provocative in your industry, or things that are like kind of like tough, hard truths. Put out things that, people, just so people know also what you're doing. You'd be so surprised how many people have no idea what you're up to from a career position. Like, literally, most people are following you, and they don't, like, nobody posts about work. Like in most cases, most people don't post about work, right? So if you're out there and you're putting out content, not about your job per se, but about what you do, and you're talking about those things and showing these types of things behind the scenes, now it's playing to that narrative that, wow, okay, this person, is really engulfed in this industry, in this respective field. And then again, when in the future, when you're building, this career of yours and, maybe shopping around, people are going to see that type of content and like, wow, okay, this is really cool. So, so we're still rolling here. Megan's figuring out her stuff. So, ultimately, at the end of the day, you got us over here. So, what's it called, Megan? What's in that coffee? Is that an Irish coffee?
No.
Can you hear her now? Let's test real quick.
Test. Okay.
We got live malfunctions.
I can't be responsible for holding it.
We got live malfunctions here, guys. Doesn't this thing clip? Yeah, clip it on your thing.
I clipped it.
I feel like a dad here. Okay, put your stuff on. You good? But nonetheless, don't make me come back there, Megan. But anyway, so anyway, point being is, again, these athletes you see crushing it. I think a good example of somebody that everybody can relate to, or maybe knows, not relate to, is Deion Sanders and his kids, right? Right now, going to Colorado, they're getting all these crazy NIL deals and like all this stuff because all this press around Deion. And it's like, again, that's on a large scale, obviously, because the world is watching them. But on your scale, you never know who's watching you. So when you're building your personal brand, it's important that you do certain things. Like as a business owner, for me in particular, I do my damn best. If I'm at a restaurant, or I'm at a small business, or I'm at some sort of business function, I do my best to make sure I'm capturing content for myself, for Adapting Social's narrative and page. And I'm doing these things because even though sometimes I don't feel like doing it, again, when we were at Eat Clean Bro as an example, there's things like that where it's like, you're talking to a million people, you're networking. Do I really want to stop and take a picture? Do I really want to do like that? No, I don't, right? I really don't actually. I'm not that guy. I don't want to do that stuff. But I do it, right? So it's funny, actually, people might think I like that stuff, but I really don't like that stuff because I know I have to do it. You have to keep playing to that narrative. So anyway, nonetheless, focus on your personal brand. 2024, make it the year where you're on your own social channel showing that you are the subject matter expert of yo damn field. So in a nutshell, they just got Elevate Leadership, my presentation right there, right? A little small version of it.
Wow, lucky you, everyone who's watching.
All right, let's do this. What's next?
Great. Next up, we have Qatar Airlines. They launched their first AI cabin crew.
Love that.
An AI cabin crew, a flight attendant.
What does that even mean?
AI. So what that means is now they have different AI features, and I think it's, how you're, when you're on a plane, there's the screens in front of you?
Yep.
I think that's where it's all being stored right now, and then they'll evolve further down the road.
You ever see those like when you're in like a Chinese or like a Japanese restaurant with those like carts that move around? Like,
so I feel
robots?
like it's like that because they answer questions about tickets, in-flight entertainment, if you need to move your flight, essentially anything that a flight attendant would do for you when you're boarding the plane or getting
Wait,
off
time out.
for the plane.
Time out.
Yeah.
Time out. They don't do that stuff. It's all we all do that stuff on our own anyway. If AI is doing that, it's lazy. It's boring.
It's
Think about it.
boring.
No, lazy. I'm saying, like think about it. Like I've never, at least no, in my life, have you ever asked a flight attendant to change a flight? I've always done it on my phone.
You know, but we're tech savvy. Think about how many people.
Yeah, well, I'm asking you though.
Savvy. No, I
right,
changed
I'm
my
saying
own
like,
flight. Yeah,
right.
I changed my own flight. I do. Yeah, well, exactly.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is like, so like if it's the food thing, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But I guess like what I'm wondering is like if it's like, okay, like I can't catch the Wi-Fi on this flight right now. What the hell's going on here? And then AI is like, boom, try this, try this. I'm like, all right, well, I'm doing that anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we'll see how it evolves.
Yeah.
So they're bringing this to Qatar Airlines, but the goal is to bring it in as a support to all hospitality industries. So you'll see it for hotel concierges, across the flight industry, entertainment industry, the restaurant, food and beverage industry, which to your point, we're already seeing with those little robots coming and bringing you your food.
Right.
Or being able to check out at a table, but now with the AI integrations, it might be able to recommend the best specials or meals to you or whatever that may be. So,
right.
Which is really exciting. I am happy to hear that this AI model is through text and voice though, and not like an actual AI robot coming down the aisles of the plane. Because I don't know how comfortable I'd feel with that.
I want the robot. Like iRobot. I want the robot.
I don't know.
I think it'd be cool. I haven't flown in forever. Actually, it's a lie. I flew last year to Florida, but it wasn't like a long flight though.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a quick one.
2 hours, yeah.
But you know, that's interesting, and just to piggyback on that topic, so it's another topic, but to piggyback on the topic, you know, right now what Elon is doing with his Tesla robot, they're at a 2.0 right now, and it's so interesting. Let's show a quick picture here of you know, these robots, and just actually show a quick video real quick up here. Take a look at this.
According to Tesla's unique structure, has been repeatedly emphasized by Musk as the most advanced technology in the world. In the second generation update, Optimus gained 11 degrees of freedom in the arms and 2 degrees of freedom in the neck, providing increased flexibility and precision. It can easily hold and arrange a boiled egg on a tray, showcasing its impressive capabilities.
So this robot, it's insane. So think about this. So this thing, in theory, what they're trying to get this to the point of is where it can do things around your house. Like it can actually be like your own personal, like in a way, like assistant / butler, but like in the real world.
What?
So like, go take the dog out, go do this, go do that. Like it could do all these different types of tasks.
I think I saw this.
Yeah, so there's a million things. My question for you watching this right now is, would you get one? If and when it comes available, would you get one? What's your answer to that?
No.
No?
You want to know why? I'm mainly concerned if it knows how to do all of these things around my house,
Yeah.
then and AI is really smart. It learns quicker than humans.
Yeah.
It might learn faster than I learn about my house, like how to, and my house is operated basically by the Wi-Fi, right? All the lights, all the locks, everything is operated by Wi-Fi. So if it learns how to tap into that, could I be locked out of my house? You know, I have trust issues.
What about you, Rob?
Meg, you just scared me. It gets mad at me.
Yeah.
And then it just.
So you know what's fair? You know what's fair? Rob always knows somebody's mad at him. Now he goes, now the damn robot's mad at me.
I didn't watch this movie, but there was
Rob's always pissing somebody off.
There was that movie Megan. Did you
Yeah,
watch
I didn't
that?
watch it.
I didn't watch it either, but it was like kind of the same concept, like something that's meant to be helpful ends up turning on you, and I just don't know.
I would say this. This is what I would say. Pre-kids, I would do it. Because I could never have it malfunction and hurt my child or something.
Yeah.
That would be the only
That's
reason
a
why
big
I wouldn't do
liability.
it. But prior to kids, or like if kids like were like maybe actually I'd probably have it in the office. So it's a totally different thing. I don't know. I definitely want one. I'm probably gonna definitely get one once it comes out.
For the office.
For the office, you know, it's like hey, imagine, can you run to the Ark and grab a beer for us?
Honestly, though,
She goes.
that would actually be really
You know, I don't know all the functions. I know it can do cleaning things. I know it can do things around the house. But nonetheless, let's comment in. Would you get a Tesla bot? Yes or no? And give us a little why. But it's crazy that my point of bringing this all up, back to you saying what Qatar is doing. It's like when you think about this, you know, the world we're moving into, we're seeing all this AI stuff on obviously our laptops and our phones through OpenAI and all these other different companies. But the things that most people aren't even focused on right now are the physical things, like like these robots. There's a lot of companies right now building physical AI bots, right, to put into the real world, right? So it's like when you see Iron Man and like war with like those types of bots, it's crazy to think about the next like decade plus, like what that's going to change. when there's a war, there's going to be like freaking iRobots running around.
That's crazy.
Like that part is crazy.
That's
so,
insane. Imagine fighting a robot.
No.
You stand no chance, right?
Yeah.
Like they're made of metal.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
But nonetheless, my point in bringing that up is that, we have to start to think about how this affects us and how it could benefit us, right? So depending on your industry, depending on what you do, again, we talk about how can AI help your business, how can, but how, in the physical world, how can AI help like a lot of these different companies, right? There's a lot of companies who are in warehouses that now have, essentially like when you look at Tesla workshop or factory, there's a big, heavy majority of that is in the, the robot mechanic space that are building and doing a lot of the parts to Teslas. So again, it's rapidly changing. And again, we have to just be prepared for different businesses, how we can help it integrate, right? Because the only way that your business or your brand gets affected by things like this happening is if they're happening and you're doing nothing about it. Right? And you're not getting ready, preparing, right? That's the only way you can find yourself in a negative position. So obviously get yourself prepared. Physical things like this are coming too, right? So let's see where it goes.
Yeah, a lot coming up in this next year. We're also heading into an election year, which is causing a lot of brands to be kind of weary. A lot of businesses in general, we don't really know what to expect.
Right.
But online, we're seeing that brands are just unsure of how to engage because we live in a world now where users on social media, they want brands to be really authentic, really raw. They don't want any BS, right? And they want you to chime in on relevant topics. So right now, a lot of relevant topics are surrounding election topics. A lot of politics. And brands are like, do I engage? Do I not engage? We just went through a few years of cancel culture where if you did engage and say the wrong thing, you were canceled. So brands are just kind of sitting there like, how do I continue to engage with consumers through this election year? And what we're seeing is be yourself. It's okay to be vulnerable. Just know where the line is. You don't have to get into the details on any politics, but if there's something that you support or your business is already supporting, feel free to speak on that. Otherwise, maybe generate some other topics that your users can engage with. Don't find yourself in a sticky situation this year. And then on the other hand, because it's an election year, word on the street is TikTok is about to be banned again too.
Yeah, I keep seeing that everywhere.
Yeah, so TikTok potentially could be banned, but they're also now releasing a TikTok photo app. So it's going to be similar to Instagram's just photo app. And it's going to be separate from TikTok, which I think is a little silly, honestly.
Photos? Like, yeah. So.
I'm already seeing photos on TikTok, like, so the still photos, it's just coming in a carousel.
YouTube Shorts is doing that too now. Or YouTube in general is doing it.
What? It's like we went from a world where we liked photos, then we moved to videos. Long videos. Then it was really short video clips, and now it's still photos
We're going back.
again. Which is crazy. But so TikTok introducing this new app is a way for them to compete with Instagram, especially if the TikTok app gets banned. Now they'll have TikTok photos, which I'm sure will evolve to be the same as what TikTok is. But it's interesting. All of these platforms are offering the same things, just under different brand names, right? X, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. It's just a matter of where's your audience and are you posting the right content for that platform? Yeah,
election years are always crazy. So, they're always finicky. So let's play it out. Let's see what happens. I want to talk about, if you haven't seen the Grammys, of course, people are talking about John Cena doing the anniversary of that guy who ran out and streaked through the Grammys. I thought the skit was great. Let's just pull it up real quick here and take a look at this.
You wrestle naked, why not?
Dude, I don't wrestle naked. I wrestle in jorts.
Jorts are worse than naked. Come on.
Costumes.
So why I'm bringing this up, right, is ultimately in business, right? Right now, John Cena has been known as being a complete opportunist when it comes to, things coming his way, right? He went from being 100% all in wrestling for WWE, like talking shit on The Rock for moving out of WWE, building his career in the movie business, whatever else. He's been reported, I think recently on Howard Stern. He was on Howard Stern. And, he went from saying how much, he was in opposition of, The Rock for doing all these things when he was earlier in his career, to now he's trying to catch up because The Rock is blew past what anybody could ever imagine.
Right.
Like literally an owner in the XFL, doing so much different. He has his own production and movie studio and company now. The dude's just crushing it in every world. But now John's like, wow, this guy's making gazillions of dollars. And like, I'm a wrestler, like he was a wrestler. Like, what's holding me back? Why can't I do that? So now he's picking up. But you'll see, like, you saw the movie Barbie, right? Mm-hmm. So he popped in there for a quick second as that like merman thing.
Right.
So he talks about that where he's like, most people will call, and he goes, I don't have all these fancy, people. Like, I have one manager, and my manager knows like I want to book every deal possible. So when he got offered that opportunity for Barbie, they almost didn't call him because they didn't think he was going to take it. And he was like, no, of course I want it. Like, he wants exposure.
Right.
So, of course, now at the Grammys, he has this opportunity to go out there and be buck naked,
That's
right?
so funny.
And so it's funny, but my point of bringing this all up is, for his brand, he's an opportunist. He wants to be in front of everybody he possibly can be. Mm-hmm. For your business, that's the way that you have to think about it. For your brand, that's what you have to think about it. I'm not saying go streaking, on a stage somewhere, but what I am saying is you have to do something outside of the box. He did that because he knows that now, for the next few weeks to whatever, this is going to continue to be talked about, and for Grammys forever, it's going to be talked about because he's the second person to ever do it in Grammy history, right? So it's like he went up there, did that. It's a vulnerable, weird thing. I'm sure it was uncomfortable for him. He's a pretty conservative dude, actually. So like for him, that was a weird thing to see him do that. But ultimately, he did it because he knew the opportunities that would come from it, right? So going back to your personal brand, and from this perspective, it's building opportunities that for things that make you feel uncomfortable, right? So in your business, what type of content you be putting out that might be a little, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit on the line, maybe it's not, but you have to test new things like this so that you can get in front of more people and do the provocative or a little bit crazy things, because again, it's what gets eyeballs on you. And I think one thing that we've seen, I've definitely seen for the past 15 years is in business or in building a brand, ultimately, it's a popularity contest.
Right.
If people know who you are and they think about you and they see you often, then you're relevant.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't, then you're not relevant. And in most industries and in most places, people are not creating good content. People are not putting themselves out there. They're really behind the curtains, or, you can't be that. You have to be out there. You have to make sure you're building. And again, that was disruptive, what they did. That was a disruptive type of topic and content where you got to start thinking that way too, right? So again, success leaves clues. Everybody's talking about John Cena still. This happened, a little bit ago, and it's still being talked about. What can you do in your business that will do that? That's the question.
Yeah, that's a great point. I was actually talking to one of our account managers about this with social media content, and he said the content that's going viral right now is your content that makes you question, what am I watching?
Right.
And is this a business? Like
Right.
that was provocative, or
Yeah.
that was on the line, but it's
Yeah.
helping to get more views, and then it's helping to get people to come back to your profile to look to see what you're going to post next. So there is a lot of benefits to doing something outside of the box on social media.
Yeah, or outside of the norms.
Outside of the norms,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. All right, do you have another topic?
No, I think it's all she wrote, guys. Everybody out there, happy Monday. I hope everybody is off to a great start. And again, the weather's been amazing, at least on the East Coast. If you're watching this from the East Coast, it's been beautiful. Actually, but let me clarify. In the New York Tri-State area, it's been great.
Spring has
you
sprung.
you got Maine up there. I don't know if it's beautiful in Maine or whatever, but Maine's always beautiful.
Probably
I
a
feel
little cold.
Yeah.
It is beautiful,
Yeah, it's
though.
always beautiful. But guys, create an amazing week ahead. Again, I keep feeling myself being mind-boggled by the fact that this year is already rolling. We are rolling, we are literally rolling, and so we find ourselves closer and closer to Q2 here, and then before you know, we're gonna blink and it's gonna be Q3, and I'm gonna have twins, and it's gonna be bananas.
How exciting!
Super excited for that. But guys, again, if you know a business owner, a brand, any entrepreneur, executive, salespeople that that need this type of content to make sure that they're on the cutting edge for their roles and for their positions, again, you can share this with them and tell them to subscribe on YouTube. They can watch it on LinkedIn, pretty much all major platforms we're streaming this on. But everybody create a great Monday, and thank you for watching in.